Hi there, welcome to Town Talks. Today I'm doing a deck profile of my new deck. This is a very fun one. It is the Dragonic Blademaster Caggro deck. Most people disregard Blademaster completely because the X is such a huge thing, and yeah, I really like the card. I really like the pressure it can give. I really like everything which the card can do for a deck, and this is my take on it. It's quite a fun deck. It's relatively cheap as far as a deck goes. It's very budget because the main card is really cheap. The secondary boss card is pretty cheap. The only expensive bits are the perfect guards and the stride units, the main stride unit, not the single rare stride. Other than that, I can't really say much about just going straight into the deck, so let's go straight in now. Okay, yeah, new decks, stuff like that. Been a while since I've done a Caggro deck, so let's go straight into it with the grade zeros. Starting Vanguard, we have Red Pulse Draco Kid. This card, incredible card. This grade researcher, not a lot you can say about it apart from you should run it, because grade researcher allows you to get your ideal grade 3, also more fodder for stride, sets up your soul for Calamity Tower even, all good stuff. Next up, triggers, running 8 crit, with a load of different artworks. The load of different artworks is pretty much just to mess with people's heads. You run loads of artworks so they can't identify the trigger lineup you're running. That is 8 crit. You can run more, you can run less. I like the 8 crit because I like to run this draw trigger. The 4 draw, which are 4 Gatling claws. Retiring is huge for this deck. You want to be able to blow an entire field. Being able to deal with the starter early so you don't have to use up resources later on is really good. It also sets up soul for Calamity Tower even, and in general it's a really good card. No reason not to run it if you're running draws. And now, next up, heal triggers, 4 heals, multiple different artwork heals just so they can't keep track of your heals as well. It's generally a good idea if you can to get different artworks if they don't have any special counterblast needs, and it's just really good for the deck to be able to mess with people's heads. For those that are visually orientated, it's very good when you're playing in a competitive match, and I like having different artworks anyway because it just looks nice. Okay, moving on, grade 1s. Okay, with the introduction of the G-Set 1, we've got some cool new things. One of them is the Unflipper G Perfect Guard. For those that don't know, if there is a copy of this in your drop zone, at the end of a battle which it guards, you can unflip damage. The reason why this is important, the deck burns up a lot of counterblasts. I'm only running 3 because I only have 3 at the moment, but also I would probably just run 3 anyway because the X is so prominent and you want to be able to guard your rear guards, and Laurel being a thing. Yeah, Laurel with stride, you need to guard your rear guards to be able to survive it. This is just the way I'm running it at the moment. The counterblast cost, as long as you keep on top of it, it doesn't get that big, but you've got ways of mitigating it thanks to the Unflipper Perfect Guard and a couple other cards in the deck. Yeah, also the new artwork's pretty cool, and I've also got a Bari, so Bari. Okay, on grade 1s, we've got 2 of this really cool new card. This is Energy Flame Ephonic, I think. I can't quite pronounce that properly, but this card's pretty cool. When a card is when your opponent's unit is retired due to an effect of one of your cards, you can shove this card into your soul to unflip 2 damage. So this is pretty much free cards. Like, free advantage from unflipping after retiring stuff. Pretty decent. We've got 4 of one of the big key cards of the deck. I say key cards, it allows you to deck fin, it allows you to drop it for stride. It's Lava Flow Dragon. Okay, Lava Flow Dragon. This card, it counts as grade 3 when you discard it to stride. And yeah, in general it's a good card. Don't mind the police car. No reason not to run it. You can discard your trash gate grade 3 to be able to get out your main boss grade 3. There's different times when you'd want to do that. Sometimes you wouldn't want to do that, like if you're going first, for instance. This card is just incredibly useful for the deck. It allows you to deck thin, and like I said, it counts as grade 3 for stride. Okay, next up, this is free of another new card. This is Dragon Monk Gyokura. This guy is pretty cool. 6k base, unlike its predecessor which was a 5k base. When a unit's retired on your opponent's field at Generation Break 1, it gains plus 5k. This is really, really good because your entire deck blows the field consistently every turn. Like, it will generally gain at least 10k a turn, and you're going to be blowing away the field every turn. Repeated explosive plays, destroying the field, getting really huge numbers thanks to this card. I would run it at 4, but you don't really have the space, and 6k base can be a pain. Next, 2 of a card which it's limited in OCG for a reason. This is 2 Calamity Tower Weaving. You Soul Blast 2, draw a card. Incredible. It allows you to make really good plays when you minus yourself. You stack your soul anyway, so you don't really care about your soul. Yeah, it allows you to do some huge plays, advantage plays, and helps when you have to G-assist as well. On to grade 2s. Currently running 4 of a very, very, very old card, Berserk Dragon. These are trial deck ones from God knows how long ago. Counterblast 2, retire a grade 2 or low unit. Really heavy cost, but you mitigate costs quite a lot, so the high cost doesn't really hurt you that much. And early on in the game, you can use this to blow starters, blow back row. That's the main thing you use it for, back row destruction. But it's really cool. It also gets you a plus 5k onto your grade 1, but yeah, that only happens every now and again. Next up, 4 of one of the new cards. This is Twilight Arrow Dragon, I believe. Yeah, Twilight Arrow Dragon. This is pretty cool. When this card is boosted at Generation Break 1, you counterblast 1, and it's a Berserk Dragon. You pop a unit on their field that's grade 2 or lower. The reason why this is really good is because it's during battle phase while you're attacking your opponent's vanguard, so you can pop an interceptor before it can intercept, and also it powers up one of your rearguard units. Something which people don't realise is if you pop a unit, well, this card is boosting it. This card will still gain a 5k, which will then apply to the boost, so it basically turns it into a 20k column, which can be really useful. It can also be a bit of a pain, but doesn't really matter. It's just it pops field, which is really important. Next, 3 10k vanillas, just because 10k vanillas. I'll probably swap this to 3 of this same of different artworks, but this just 3 Nahalem, because Nahalem, classic stuff. Okay, onto the grade 3s. This is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. Start with the trash grade 3, I would say. This is Double Perish Dragon. I would swap this out for Dragonic Overlord the Great if I could be bothered to, but it's done well so far. This card's pretty cool. When it's placed on Vanguard, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and just pop a grade 1 or lower unit. This is your starter killer if you haven't already popped it. Any annoying boosters, you ride this, you pop it. You generally want to drop this for stride, but yeah, sometimes things don't go your way. And it's also got a second skill, which is at Generation Break 1. You can Counterblast 2 and pop a unit. This is pretty cool. It's useful, it's not the best. Now I'll go on to the main boss card of the deck, and this is one which has a lot of interesting play behind it. A lot of people don't realise how much play it actually has. This Dragonic Blademaster. His effect, when you stride on top of him, you can counterblast one to pop a unit on the field. That alone is really good. That's straight -1 to your opponent, and that's really good. The main strength of this card, however, is its second other ability. At Generation Break 2, when it attacks, as long as you've got more rearguards than your opponent, which is incredibly likely to happen considering the deck retires your opponent's rearguards every single turn, it gains +5k and a crit. Mostly, the crit is important. This card, combined with a Calamity Tower Weaving behind it, creates a 21k column, which really punishes a lot of decks. The fact it creates a 21k column with an extra crit consistently, it's really pressurizing. By the time you get to this point, they will be at 3 damage. They will not be able to take a Vanguard swing at any point in case you get a critical trigger. That forces the deck into such a high caliber of play that it's a massive pressure card throughout the entire game, with its retiring effects, with its ability to add crits, add power, and then just completely out-pressure your opponent every single time they try to do anything. This card's incredible. People should give it a bit more respect as a card. It got me second at my locals last weekend, and it's an incredible card, just completely underrated. Alright, now new edition, first time doing it on the channel, onto the extra deck, so the grade 4s. Running 4 of the, I call it the vanilla stride. When this card hits, if you're stridden, if it hits the opponent's Vanguard, you can retire one of your opponent's units. Really good, just consistent card. It hits a 31 with Calamity Tower behind it, because all my grade 3s are 11ks, but good card. Now this is something which I need to get 2 more of. Root Flare. This card is stupid. Its ability is once per turn, if you got 2 face-up G units in your G zone, you can turn a copy of it face up in your G zone and blow a field. I say you have to have 2 to do it. It's when the copy is turned face up, if there are 2 face up units, you can blow a column. Which is really, really good, because it's a straight +10 to your main booster. It's incredible for power during a turn, and there's not really any downside to this card. It's incredible. Combined with Blademaster, that's a -3 to your opponent's field for a counterblast 1. There's not really anything wrong with that. That's beyond incredible, and you cannot say anything bad about this card. It's so good. The only drawback is it's ridiculously expensive. This, as far as a card goes, just as a staple, it's £17 a pop for those in England. This card, I managed to pick up one for £18, and the other one I had to trade off a load of stuff. Like my Dungaree deck no longer exists because of this card. This card just makes the deck. The ability to pop an entire column, brilliant. There's no more cards I'm going to show you for the extra deck, because it would just be 2 more of that. I don't have them at the moment, as G rules aren't actually implemented. I'm using Gablade, the Royal Paladin one, but yeah, that will be taken out as soon as G rules are in play, as soon as Clan Fight is implemented, and yeah, I'm just using those for the moment. Okay, not a lot else I can say about the profile today. It's quite a short one, but the deck's really good. Give it a shot. Don't underrate it. This was the budget version of the deck. I will do a more expensive version once I've sorted out the greats into the deck and done a bit more playtesting, using Neo Flames and stuff instead of my Berserk Dragons. Once I've done all that, another deck profile will come up, and yeah, there's not much else I can say. This is Towan. I've talked about card fight. Peace out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, etc.